Navy SEAL Eddie Gallagher is due to appear in front of his superior officers. Gallagher, who was convicted in July of posing with a dead ISIS soldier in Iraq, now faces expulsion from the elite SEALs unit, just days after having his rank reinstated by President Trump. Gallagher's attorney sees the action, ordered by Navy Rear Admiral Colin Green, as an act of defiance against the president.
It is a pure power play by Admiral Green against the Commander-in-Chief.
Gallagher was at the center of a high-profile war crimes case stemming from a 2017 tour of duty in Iraq. He was eventually acquitted of the most serious charges, including shooting Iraqi civilians and killing a captive enemy fighter with a knife. The jury recommending a reduction in rank from chief to first-class petty officer. Gallagher's pay was reduced for 2 months, and he was released with time served. But last Friday, President Trump ordered the Navy to restore Gallagher's full rank.
He told me that he wanted to instill confidence back into the warfighters of our community that were, going over there and doing the job, and he didn't want them second-guessing themselves.
The review of Gallagher comes on the heels of a series of high-profile incidents of alleged misbehavior involving Navy SEALs, including a unit that was pulled out of Iraq in July over reports of an alcohol-fueled party and allegations that a female service member was raped. Rear Admiral Green writing a letter last month to the entire SEAL Command that reads in part, "We must now take a proactive approach to prevent the next breach of ethical and professional behavior in our formations." But Gallagher's attorney has a message for the Admiral that he should expect a fight.
Eddie Gallagher didn't quit when you threw him in jail. He's going to keep fighting until this thing is over and justice is done.